The Winchester 1887 and 1901 shotguns are very basic in design, the way they work, and they're interesting because they're considered as the first useful repeating shotguns. You've basically got, we could count them out, the amount of parts here. In the 1901 you have a two-part trigger, so two-part lever, so that's one piece, two pieces. This is all milled from one piece, so from right to the bolt face to the back here to the trigger guard, it's all one piece. So that's two pieces total so far. Then in here you got a two-piece lifter. You can see it pop up here. The left piece is just the side, right piece is the middle part here, and the right side. The two screws here are what holds the lifter. As you can see, it works on that. So it works on that plane there. Then you've got this spring which runs the hammer on this gun, and as you see right here, it's in its fully down position, and you can see a couple of cutouts on here. The first cutout that you see is the cocked position. The one underneath, as you see, it's got a deeper cut. I'm going to bring it a little closer for you. That's the half cock position. So as you close up the gun here, this here's the trigger. As you start closing up the gun, that spring isn't being compressed at all right now. In fact, it just keeps going right now. And now, as you saw the trigger go forward, this is when the spring starts being compressed. So you're not fighting against anything up until this point here, apart from the cartridge being pushed in. But that's nothing too special. Watch the hammer, since it's caught on the trigger at this point, it's not going to move, whereas the rest of the gun, or as the rest of the bolt and lever assembly move in and lock into the gun. So only in that short amount of distance do you fight against spring pressure. This is a closed, obviously fired. This is half cocked, so you can't pull the trigger. It's your safety basically on these guns. And that's fully cocked. So you pull the trigger, it fires. Very basic design. You got your magazine tube underneath here. Barrel obviously on top. Now if you want to see how that works, loading it, very simple too. You open it, you make sure the lifter is pushed right to the bottom. You take your 2 7/8 10 gauge, in this case it's a Dominion made in Canada Canuck 10 gauge. Place it in the gun and you push, and in pushing it, it's now in the magazine tube being held back by the lifter. That's all that's holding it back. So now as you close up the action on this gun, you're going to hear the lifter basically goes down a bit and releases the shell. So you can hear it now. Now the shell's fired out onto the lifter. You fired, for example. Now as you open up the gun, See the shell is sitting on the lifter. As you keep pulling open, the lifter's been pushed up, which brings the shell in line with the barrel. You close now you're ready to fire. Fire it. Now you're slowly bringing it back. Usually it's done a lot faster than this. But as you see, the way the extractors work on here, one of them completely releases the shell already, whereas the other one follows it out but keeps it loose. It's not even touching the back of the bolt face yet. It only touches it at this point here. So as you bring it forward, it's still locked in place, and when you push it far enough forward to get the lifter to come up, it ejects the shell. Part of the lifter hits the shell, knocks it over, and gets the other shell in place ready to be fired again. And that's just how simple this gun is. Very basic design, works well. I will eventually be shooting this once I've gotten some 10 gauge or short 10s loaded, and we'll see how much of a beast it is for firing. If there's any questions, feel free to comment. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. Thanks again.